Hey guys, it's Jean here, and today I wanted to talk about cultural diversity and some books that feature it. I think it's so important to read widely. There's so many books that don't feature people of color as the main character or as secondary characters, and it's just unrealistic because that's not the world that we live in. So I've got heaps of books to share with you. I've read some of them and others I haven't. Let me know what you pick up and what you've read in the comments down below. I just read The Road to Winter by Mark Smith, and a big part of it is the Afghani characters that the main character Finn runs into. They're used as slaves and they're refugees, and I think it's so important to feature that. There's also Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan, and it's actually absolutely hilarious because it features Singaporeans who are crazy rich, and there's a lot of funny Asian stereotypes in here, but then it's funny because while I was reading I was like, oh my god, that's so true. It's outlandish, it's funny, it's provocative. I really recommend this one. There's also The First Third by Will Kostakis. This is an Aussie YA as well, and it features a male protagonist and his love for his Greek grandmother. Billy is also gay as well, and there's just a lot of self-discovery in this book, and I loved hearing about the Greek culture in this one. Freedom Swimmer by Wei Chim is a book I haven't read yet, but I know it's set in China, and it's about a guy who swims out of China to escape the Communist Party. It's a new YA that just came out, and I'm looking forward to reading this one. No doubt you've heard of The Help by Kathryn Stockett. I love the movie as well, and reading this, it was just so heartening but also confronting about the lives of black maids in the 1960s. It's just really touching. It really made me cry. The main character in The Girl From Everywhere by Heidi Heilig is actually half Hawaiian and half Chinese. But what I loved about it is that it's a diverse fantasy set in Hawaii. So we find out about the Hawaiian culture. There's also a stint where they travel to China as well in the olden days. Although I found a few parts of this problematic, it's so important to have stories like these. An oldie but a goodie is The Immortal Rules by Julie Kagawa. The Immortal Rules is a vampire dystopia that features a lot of blood and guts, but the main character, Alison Sekimoto, is like a hardcore Japanese killing machine. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but she was one of the first non-white protagonists in a fantasy that I've read, and I love that, so pick it up guys. There's also To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. Lara Jean is half Korean and she loves cooking. She's spoiled by her dad. She has great traditional family values, and she's also a little bit naive, but I loved how she was the main character, and there was a great sisterly relationship in this one, and they were all half Korean. Aeon Duology by Alison Goodman features a fantasy set in ancient China. I actually haven't read this one, but I know people absolutely love it, particularly the dragon lore in it. The Lunar Chronicles is my favourite series ever, besides Throne of Glass of course. Cinder and Kai are both Chinese, and I love how it's sort of set in a neo-futuristic China. It just makes it really, really exciting. I know there's some parts of it that's problematic guys, but come on, it's a popular YA series that features an Asian character. Like, I love it myself. The Rest of Us Just Live Here features a really diverse cast of secondary characters. It's been a while since I've read it, but I really appreciated the diversity in here. There's also My Sister Rosa, which is about psychopaths. Che lives in New York, and he's an Australian who's moved there, and he meets a highly diverse range of people. There's Sojourner, who is the black boxer that he's intrigued with. I love the diverse range of cast of characters in My Sister Rosa, and it didn't feel forced as well. It just really came really naturally to the plot, and I think there should be more books like this. This one's on my TBR list, but The Summer of Chasing Mermaids features Elise, who is a black protagonist, and Christian, who is a notorious playboy. And together they fall in love. I'm not too sure what else happens, but I know so many people love this story, so can't wait to read it. Of Metal and Wishes by Sarah Fine has been on my TBR for a while. It's basically Chinese Phantom of the Opera and it features a lot of the mythology. I absolutely love Phantom of the Opera and I love the sound of it, and I wish more people knew about this book and could read it. Another one of my absolute favourite series is the Starbound trilogy, and the second book, This Shattered World, features Jubilee and she's a black commander. I love how the roles were flipped in here. Flynn, who is the male protagonist, is more of a rebel, but he's more in touch with his feelings. And Jubilee is a somber commander, and the roles are really flipped in this one, and she is so kick-ass. I love her. I think everyone should read this series because it's an awesome sci-fi read and it's diverse, and I love it, and Amy is awesome. As I said, The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Abdia. I love the Middle Eastern setting in this one. It's just so sumptuous, and there's the desert setting with camels and you know, 1,000 nights and wonderful food that makes me pretty hungry. Although I didn't like the romance, I love the setting, guys. Another one of my favorite books of all time is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alexandre. I hope I'm saying that right. But oh gosh, it's just such a wonderful LGBT read. I loved Ari, I loved Dante, I love how they sort of contrasted each other with dark and light. One of the boys has a Mexican heritage, and this book, it just made me cry so much and I loved it. I think more people should read it because it's one of my favorites of all time. Six of Crows. Now this is another one of my favorite reads. The cast and the crew are made up of different cultures in the Grisha universe, and I absolutely love it. I think it's like diverse fantasy done really right. Looking for Alibrandi by Milena Marchetta is one of the first YA books that I read in high school. It features an Italian main character, Josie, who goes to school and she's sort of discovering herself, but she comes home and then she has to deal with a large Italian family. I really looked up to Josie when I was younger because I felt like there weren't any other books that understood the cultural struggles that you have while being in a mainly white Australian community. I just met Milena Marchetta at the Brisbane Writers Festival and she's so wonderful. Last but not least is Ink and Bone by Rachel Caine. Rachel Caine is one of my favourite authors of all time, and Ink and Bone is diverse fantasy done right. Like, it's set in Alexandria and there's a group of students who are from all areas of the world who come in and learn about fighting the rebellion. Guys, if you want diversity and one that isn't forced and done really well as part of the story, but these diverse characters still have depth, Ink and Bone is the one that you want to read. So here's just some of the books that I recommended today. With cultural diversity, I think it's so important to read widely and to understand different cultures, and if you have any other recommendations below, please let me know. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys later.